This is Bill Elleby, the guru, head of Washington State's premier scouting basketball service. We on Super Bowl Sunday. You see I got my Seahawk hat on representing. You know, we're not in the championship, but you know I always got to represent the 206. We still in the house. All right? Today we're going to talk about SBS and the guru, all Metro team. I got the first team, the second team, the third team, and my honorable mention. I'm so excited about this team. There's been a lot of debate on Facebook and around the neighborhood after Seattle Times posted the all Metro team and the coaches made their picks. And there's been a lot of talk about who the MVP is. Well, first I'm just going to start with the Times, and the coaches voted Isaiah Brown MVP, which to me is a great choice. Isaiah Brown, he gets votes from me. Alfonso Anderson gets votes for me for the MVP. But my MVP of Metro League this year is Sam Cunliffe, the 6'6" point guard, shooting guard for Rainier Beach. Super versatility, ultra athletic. All right, led his team over the number 9 team in the country, Garfield Bulldogs, at the Jamal Court, the Mecca of the 206. So my MVP is Sam Cunliffe. He's going to Arizona State. You know, I think Bobby Hurley got a gem from the 206. You know, the first 3 teams, I mean, from top to bottom, you know, from SBS and the guru, I wanted to show the best talent and the best stats, but also players, you know, who players should get rewarded for winning. And I think that's really something that we have to talk about, you know, and also the top scorers should be rewarded for how they play. Starting my first team, who everybody knows can score points. He scored over 2,000 points in his career out there at Lakeside. He's had some big games this year, and that's Isaiah Brown, the Northwestern commit. Had a 50-point game versus Garfield. He scored 47 versus Franklin. He had 46 just last week, 43, multiple 30-point games, and has really carried that team on his back. Jalen Noel is on my first team. We all know Jalen Noel, ESPN ranked player, can shoot the lights out, has some of the best mid-range game that you ever will see, a high major recruit from the East Coast to the West Coast. Keith Smith from Rainier Beach is on SBS, the guru's first team. Keith Smith has been my top player most of the whole year. The Oregon recruit coming off his knee surgery is playing really good basketball, super versatile, playing inside and out. Had a 41-point game and 16 rebounds. Really does everything for Coach Mike Mathea's team. Alfonso Anderson, who's really the best post in this state. You know, he can play inside and out, but definitely the best post in Metro. You know, can hit the 3-point shot, really improved his range. Has a patented spin move that cannot be stopped. And his physicality is just unmatched. All right, and he has a great attitude. He's always working hard. You know, he's always trying to get better in his game. And rounding out my first team is the General, T. Brown from Garfield. The game starts and ends with him. With the ball in his hands for Garfield, he makes the right decisions, you know, getting his teammates involved, his lob passes, and his defense is unmatched. Seattle Times named him the Defensive Player of the Year in Metro, and I too named him the Defensive Player of the Year of Metro. He deserves it. He's been underrated, and I think, you know, the colleges around here, universities around here, around the West Coast, need to take notice of T. Brown and really start looking at him as a legitimate Division I point guard. Now that brings me back to this big controversy because, you know, around the neighborhood and even in my mind, as I got my little 3 hours of sleep, because you know the guru don't sleep, I'm working. But I was thinking about, well, what about the Garfield players, you know, like John, you know, number 35 in the nation from ESPN. How can I leave him off the first team? Oh, I agonize about that all night. You know, I agonize about that. Jay Sean Augusto, he's also on my second team, the fastest point guard in Washington. Another Division I recruit who is mulling his 6 Division I offers, you know, from San Diego, St. Peter's, Illinois, Chicago. So we're trying to figure out, he's going to figure out where he's going to go. But how can I leave them guys off the list? You know, it's really hard to do, you know, with having all this talent but I think it says a lot about the talent in Metro League and why it is the best in the state. And why Garfield, has one of the best teams, ever, in the state in that Garfield, because of the magnitude of all that talent and how they play, and they play so good together. Rounding out my second team is Devon Bolton. Devon Bolton has led Cleveland to third place this year in Metro. He is a scorer. He is always on attack mode. He hit a game winner at Bainbridge at the buzzer. He has a deadly pull-up three-point shot. That's butter. I mean butter. It's a rainbow jumper that hits nothing but net. The Rainier Beach transfer learned a lot of tricks from Coach Mike Bethia and had a lot of competition in the last 3 years because he is playing at a very high level. All right, and you got to give a lot of credit to Coach Jerry Petty, the Metro Coach of the Year. Jerry Petty's done a great job with instilling confidence in them guys and having them believe in team defense and playing unselfish on offense. So Devon Bolton has really been a leader and a catalyst for that team. But we still got to talk about Cleveland. And there's another kid at Cleveland who I don't give much praise to, but today is his praise. CJ Elleby, my son, 6'6" shooting guard, averages 17, 18 points a game this year, 9 rebounds, 3 or 4 assists, has really been versatile this year. The smooth shooting lefty, had a great game versus Prep, 20 points last week, and is really starting to find his groove and is able to be unselfish and help this team propel to the next level. My second team, all right, is the best one-on-one player in the 2018 class and maybe in the state. But that first 10 minutes of that Garfield game, boy, that young Kevin Porter was going crazy on Garfield, was unstoppable in that court. Man, I could see Lorenzo Romar, the Oregon coach, and Bobby Hurley and them guys kind of saying, wow, who is this kid? All right, he could put a team on his back. All right, he puts that cape on like Superman and flies down the court and through the air, and nobody can stop him. Left, right, and it's just that way. To the Guru's third team, we're going to start off with the Court Wizard. All right, the Court Wizard. You should know who that is. It's Seattle U commit, Nate Pryor from West Seattle. He is the best ball handler in Metro with his crafty moves, and the ball's always tight, and you can't take the ball from him with his crossover. And he's a very, very slick passer. Always makes that pass at the last moment. Made a big game winner at O'Day. The Guru was there. That was one of the best games of the year. And Nate Pryor, putting him on the third team is really hard to do as well. I think he can easily be on the second team or maybe even the first team. But I think as the last few weeks, he had a couple injuries, and so he's kind of slowed down. So that's why he's not higher. But I love the way Nate Pryor propels his team to victories. Also on my third team is Michael Carter III, 6'3", point guard, long arms, very underrated player all year. He's really coming to his own this senior year. Can also make a case for him to be in the second team. Very good shooter from the outside, has had some great performances this year, and I think he's on the crust of Division I. Division II, he's really lanky. And I think the sky's the limit for Michael Carter. Oh, he had 25 points against Rainier Beach. He played great against Sam Cunliffe. And I thought that showed that he's really stepped his game up to another level this year. How can we forget the second lead scorer of Metro? How can Seattle Times forget the second lead scorer of Metro? And I'm going to tell you who he is, because we kind of forget about him. Jonathan Lane from Roosevelt High School. 6'4" shooting guard, had a 40-point game. Had 20 points against Garfield, a really great shooter, plays a game with flair, a high motor, gets to the cup, all right? And he likes to use his teammates, which is rare for some of these shooting guards that we know here in the Metro. Rounding out my third team is another Seattle U commit. Splash is his nickname. You know what I'm saying? When that jumper gets going, just led his team to a big win at home versus Rainier Beach, and that's Mr. Aaron Nettles. Really good, crafty point guard. Has good handles, high IQ, gets his players involved. All right, but can really stroke that ball. I mean, if he gets his shot going and looks for his offense, look for Prep to make a run. Early in the season I talked about Prep kind of being, my top 5, a dark horse. Nobody wants to play Prep. We'll talk about that. Now we're going to talk about my honorable mention, All Metro top 10 players, which was another hard thing to do considering we have all this talent in Metro League, the best league in Washington State. Starting my honorable mention team is the best shooter in Washington, Quinn Bernard from O'Day High School. We also have Colin Welp from Seattle Prep, a very skilled big man. ESPN ranked Jerron Brooks, 6'9" center from Garfield, who could eat. We also have the point guard from Self, Isaiah Hart. He's had a great year, but Isaiah Hart's climbing 2018 rankings, really leading that Self team up the ladder in Metro. You know, they got something brewing down there. He's able to get his teammates involved. He's able to get to the cup and score. And he has that physical play that I love about him, you know, because he's just not going to take it. We have Keegan Crosby, 6'6" shooting guard from Blanchette, averaging 17, 18 points a game. We also have the Western Oregon University football commit from Cleveland High School, Malik Abdul-Haq. All right, I call him the Spider-Man, 6'6", long, dunks on the break. I also have the point guard for the Kamikazes, Craig Jackson's team at Franklin, Deontay Jackson, 6'2", athletic, will dunk on the break, has high IQ, good passes, and you know he's a coach of his son, so he understands the game really well. We also have his partner in crime, Big Cam. Can't forget Big Cam, 6'8", 6'9", all right? He is a beast down in that paint. He rebounds well. He dunks put back. So I have Brock McKenzie from Eastside Catholic. He's climbing my rankings as well. Brock is a great player and one of the best point guards in his class. How can we forget big Nick Lynch? I mean, Nick Lynch could be in my third team as well. You know, 6'9", you know, just a mountain there. Just a mountain. And you know what they say about a mountain? You can't move this mountain. This guy is huge. All right, he's burly. He blocks shots, he rebounds, and he's just scratching the surface. Shout out to my guy, the cameraman. The proof is in the play. All right, he's at every gym. He doesn't sleep. He's working real hard. It's the Guru. Follow me on Twitter at Bill Elleby. Go to SeattleBasketballServices.com.